Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Jocelyn and I have Triya here as my student for today's Flow Yin class. And through the flow part, I'm going to move you guys through some mindful breath-guided movements. We'll be up and down, this way and that a little bit, get some heat and invigoration going. And for the yin part, we're just going to let the muscles relax. And we're going to get onto the floor and get into the deep release of our connective tissues. So with these two different aspects going on here, we have the strengthening, heated, more active half, stimulating our more masculine energy, and then we have that more passive, cooling and relaxing half that stimulates more of our feminine energy. And we all have both masculine and feminine energy. This is what's known as our polarities, and we have both of these energies residing within each of us. And especially in yoga, we work towards creating this balance between these two polarities in order to create balance in body, mind, energy, and spirit as well. So that's what we'll be doing today. We'll get into some nice side bending to open up the lungs, strengthen our respiration, deepen our lung capacity, and then in turn, again, we're going to create that nice balance of active and passive energy. We're just going to start in a nice upright seated position as Triya's already in here. So you can cross the legs or adjust them any way that's comfortable here. If you're feeling maybe a little in your head, a little scatterbrained, the palms can flip down to help ground your energies down. Or on the opposite end, if maybe you're feeling maybe a little sluggish, we can always flip the palms up just for a little energetic uplift. Whichever way you want to go. We can just let the eyes close if that's comfortable. And begin to soften some tension from the face and the jaw. Maybe even shrugging the shoulders up into the ears, feeling tension rise. And relaxing them down, feeling it melt. Maybe just taking a couple little rolls, a little shimmy, shake, side to side, whatever you need to do to nestle yourself into space. We'll start to tune into our natural breaths here. So as you feel the sits bones begin to sink down beyond the mat and into the soil, we can become fully present in our breathing here. Breaths flowing both in and out of the nose. Nothing forced, never constricting, just allowing the breath to flow freely here, creating a nice diaphragmatic breath. So the belly moves as one with our breathing, rising with each inhale we take, falling with each exhale we take. Follow this diaphragmatic breath, feeling this rise and fall, noticing how each breath affects you. Emotionally, how do we feel? Energetically, how do we feel here? Not judging, simply noticing. And we'll take a few moments in silence, in stillness, to just breathe, become fully present in our breath, to become fully present in the moment. Tailbone softening, anchoring us down to earth below. Crown softly rising, expanding us open to sky above. Feel these 2 points, tailbone and crown, reach away from each other, creating that space for that deepened breath. Now maybe feeling it rise and fall through the belly, lungs, and chest. One more breath here without force. Let the exhale empty from the top of the chest to the bottom of that low belly. Pelvis weighs heavily. flutter the eyes open. On an inhale, we'll sweep the arms open and up to sky. Exhale, join the hands, seal them down, heart center, closing the eyes once more. Taking just a short moment here to set up that heartfelt intention for your practice, that deeper purpose which brings you here and now. Maybe joining me in that intention of balancing our polarities. Perhaps a phrase comes to mind, maybe joining me in mine. I am balanced, my right and left halves. Maybe you want to think more of sun and moon energy, masculine and feminine. Setting out that intention, feeling it flow with your breath. Feel your entire body sinking even deeper into space, anchored down in this intention. And we can release the palms, flutter the eyes open, getting some movement going now in our tabletop position. So you can circle the legs around, knees coming under hips, shoulders over those wrists, hands spread wide, the middle fingers come forward, the rest fan out here, and we start to draw into our abdominal lock. Low belly draws in and up. We'll move through some cat-cow flows here. On the inhale, we'll release the belly, open up the heart and cow. Exhale, push away, scoop and round to our cow. Inhale, arching a cow, release weight down. And exhale, round to cow, scooping out the belly here. And inhale, arch to cow, press heart forward. And exhale, round, lifting hard between those shoulders. One more round, let it flow. Inhale, letting go into cow. And exhale, engaging as you push down, rounding to that calf. Let's come back through neutral spine here. Shoulders hug down, low belly in and up, readjust as needed. We'll just take the hips side to side so spine stays neutral, and you can kind of circle it around or just take side to side wags. This is kind of your own little free flow moment here. So take a couple deep breaths, moving the pelvis, opening up those side bodies. We open up those side energy channels. Just close the eyes for another breath here. Just really letting it go, flowing on your own. Beautiful. We can start to find neutral whenever you're ready for it. Of course, you can spend more time here. And whenever you're ready, we're pressing down through all 10 fingertips. And we're going to tuck the toes, lift those hips slow, find downward facing dog here. And whenever you're ready to find your down dog, we're just going to create any natural organic movement that helps us to loosen up. So there's no right or wrong. Feel free to add or subtract anything you may or may not need. If you need to take it a little more gentle or intensify, that's always invited here. So we're just loosening up here, maybe paddling out the feet here, maybe even taking the hands apart a couple inches, making sure we're really opening that space across chest and between shoulders. And what we're doing here is we're settling ourselves into a strong point of stability. So we're starting to balance our weight through the hands and the feet. So we're pressing down through that little web between index and thumb, as well as the padding underneath each knuckle. All 10 fingertips gripping. So to protect the wrist, we imagine a little space in the center of each palm here. So we're just going to hold here for a couple of breaths. With each inhale, lengthen from the wrist all the way up through those sits bones. On the exhale, release from sits bones all the way down through heels. So inhale, we feel that lift up of the hips. Exhale, release down into hands and feet. They root. One more breath like that. Inhale to create that uplift. Exhale, create that release. Shoulders melt, crown softens down. And whenever you're ready, we're going to take it through a tabletop. So knees will come down, shoulders over wrists. Shake those wrists out as needed. You can always find child's if you need to rest them. So here, we're really strong through our center, low belly in and up. We're going to start just by sweeping that right arm behind us. So we're going to take the right arm and reach back to the wall behind us, just like that. Then staying strong through the core, we're going to take the opposite leg back. So the left leg will extend behind us. Now, if we feel a little weak here, we can always flex that foot to activate more masculine energy, or maybe if we feel a little too stiff, we can point through the foot to add some feminine energy to this. So either way, we want one long line. We're still breathing diaphragmatic breaths from our heel, which reaches back with the fingertips all the way through the crown of the head. And holding this shape, we're just going to simply circle that arm so it sweeps forward. So we're taking a handshake forward, full sunbird pose now. We're almost there. Draw that left shoulder down the back, reach that tailbone back towards the heels, and lift up through that core. Feel that length, that space, that determination mentally here as you reach out. We're going to hold the left leg there and simply plant the right hand down, so we're breathing through all of this. From here, we're going to inhale, tuck the right toes. And exhale, we're going to lift up 3-limb down dog, so that heel reaches towards the top of the wall where it meets the ceiling here. And we're taking a couple breaths, so we're going to lengthen from both wrists all the way out through both heels here. And then we're going to bend into that knee, stacking the hips, and we're going to come into an open hip dog here. So try to press that left shoulder down to level shoulders, and imagine right there in the front of your right hip here, it's starting to reach up towards the ceiling and then forward towards the wall in front of you. As we inhale, we'll straighten that left leg out, and exhale, plant it down, downward facing dog here. To give those wrists a rest, we're going to slowly lower both knees down, sit hips into the heels, child's pose, just for a couple deep, heavy sighs all together. We'll take an inhale, fill up those lungs. Exhale, heavy sigh, release it down and out. Strong inhale, fill up those lungs. Exhale, heavy sigh, releasing down. Beautiful. Whenever you're ready, set up that strong tabletop. We're going to take this flow on the second side. So shoulders hug down, low belly draws in and up. We'll start with left arm. We're sweeping it back, press down through all 5 right fingertips. Opposite arm or opposite leg extends back. Right leg extends back from the core out. You can flex or point here. Spend a couple breaths here. Everything reaching out from this strong center of gravity here, from that core. Reach out through heel and head. Holding everything here, you're simply going to reach that left arm forward, finding that handshake, full sunbird. Just a couple more breaths. We want those breaths to be strong and steady, feeling that rise and fall of the belly here. And from that strong center, we'll reach towards the front and back of the room, oppositional pull. Keep the leg there. Simply plant that left hand down. We'll use an inhale, tucking left toes. We'll exhale, lift up 3-limb down dog. Just a breath or two here. Relax the shoulders down. Feel them hug into the back pockets. Push out away from the hands, lengthen from the wrists, up and out through both heels. Keep breathing. We're going to bend into that knee, stacking open the hips. Right shoulder presses down. Keep breathing as we reach up with the front of that left hip, and then feel it reach forward, stacking those hips more. Beautiful. You're going to inhale, straighten that leg out, reach out through heels. Exhale, plant it down, find downward facing dog. Once again, we'll slowly lower those knees down. Set those hips back to heels. Just a couple of those ha breaths, those heavy sighs. We'll take an inhale to fill up the lungs. Exhale, heavy sigh, release it down. Take advantage of this here to release that inhale, filling lungs. And that exhale, sinking you down. Lovely. Good. So we're going to build a little more strength and heat. We're going to start in a tabletop. So shoulders over wrists, knees under hips, middle fingers are forward, the rest fan out wide. Strong through that Uddiyana Bandha, that abdominal lock, low navel in and up. We'll start with the left or either leg. Step and extend it back, so it's a half plank here. So we're going to set up that plank pose. So start with one leg. You can stay here if that's enough, or we'll let that second leg join you. So just a couple breaths in our plank. Hold here, pushing down and away from the ground as we find that strong core support here. And setting tailbone back towards the heels as we reach from the heels through the crown of the head. We use that inhale, create a little inch more length. Exhale, we'll lower the knees, the belly, the chest, all the way down. Release down into your mat any way you need. Flatten the top of the feet. Inhale, we'll wave it forward, then up through baby cobra. So we're just using the back here to lift up that heart and chest. As you exhale, lower down. We'll flow through that a couple times. Inhale, light heart, baby cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise, light heart here. And exhale, lower. Let's do one more inhale, rise. This time we're gonna hold it. So lift up to your baby cobra, or maybe if you wanna add in the arms here, you can lift up to a little bit of a higher cobra. It might be a preteen in between there, or a full adult like Jaya here. So shoulders hug in, elbows hug in, hips press down with the feet as we lift up through the belly and the heart. Take one more inhale, feel an inch more length. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips slowly, downward facing. You can always pass through tabletop there, add a child between, or go straight to down dog like Jaya did. Every time we return here, we'll take a couple breaths. Balancing weight through hands and feet, cupping through the center of the palms, gripping through the fingertips, protect those wrists. Good. From here, she's going to bend into the knees, take her gaze forward between thumbs, and we're going to walk her, take a big step forward, find forward fold, top of the mat, feet and legs take the weight, the upper body weighs nice and heavy here. Maybe some gentle sways, loosen up the head and neck, just let it go for a couple of breaths. Pause through center. And you can either bring fingertips to mat or hands to shins. We're going to inhale, halfway lift, shoulders hug back, long back neck, and exhale, forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift, feel length. And as you exhale, feel the pelvis start to tilt forward and forward fold. Two more. Inhale, halfway lift. Beautiful length. Exhale, let it go, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Let's root down through feet. Inhale, open the arms out and up. Reverse swan to stand. Rise out of roots. Joining hands. Seal it down, heart center. Let's close the eyes. Lift all 10 toes, take just a couple breaths, or re-sparking some inspiration and motivation by coming back to our heartfelt intention. Repeat that word or that phrase that you came up with, and let it just course through the body from the breath all the way down through those strong rooted feet here. Lovely. We'll start to move again as we inhale. The arms will sweep open and up. And exhale, reach up, then out, swan dive down, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, we'll plant the hands, step it back 1 foot at a time, find that long, strong plank, take an inhale. We'll exhale for cat bow, knees, chest, chin come down, elbows tweeze in here, flatten the feet, inhale, wave it forward and up, lower high cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips slow, downward facing dog, where we'll hold for a couple of breaths here. And again, we're just feeling that length from our hands up through hips. That release from hips, all the way down into the heels. One more breath like that. We'll soften into the knees. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, we can walk step or take a little hop. Forward fold, top of the mat. Nice, let it go. Inhale for half lift. And folding, exhale. Inhale, reverse swan. Open and up, we'll rise. Press down through feet as you rise. And exhale, join the hands. heart center here. We'll move again. Inhale, open the arms. We'll rise out of roots. Exhale, swan dive down, surrender to earth. Inhale, halfway lift, feel length and space. Exhale, full plant hands, step or hop back, find that plank. Now you can move through that cat bow, or if you want to shift forward, move through that chaturanga, that half plank and up dog, you're more than welcome. But just whatever flow you feel comfortable and confident with right now. There's no have-tos, no right or wrong, just as long as you feel good in your body, that's all that matters. Taking a couple breaths, full deep diaphragmatic breaths, both in and out of the nose. I'll give China a little bonus stretch here. So kind of follow my hands here. You're feeling that length come from right here below the shoulders. And as we push away from the hands, we feel that rise all the way up so the low back opens. Sits bones reach up to lengthen the hamstrings as well. So the top of our triangle reaches up, and then we release straight down, distributing equal energy down through legs and spine. Lovely. We'll bend into the knees. Inhale, gaze forward with strong core. Exhale, walk, step, or float. Sits bones high, forward fold. Let it go. On the inhale, halfway lift. Folding, exhale, release air. And inhale, reverse swan. Open and up, we'll rise. Spine lightness. And exhale, seal the hands, heart center, and heaviness. One more through. Inhale, open the arms. And exhale, swan dive down, forward fold, let it go. Inhale for half lift. Exhale, full plant hands, step or float. Find that plank, take an inhale. And exhale, move through your flow, letting go. On the cobra, you rise out of those roots, press down. And then exhale, slow float to downward facing dog. Just a couple breaths here. Inhale to gaze forward. Exhale, walk, step, or float. Forward fold. And on an inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, let it go. Inhale, reverse swan. Open and up, we'll rise. And sealing hands, heart center. Good. Get yourself grounded here, pressing equally through the four corners of each foot. We'll create a bind with the hands, so we're just going to interlock the hands so that the index fingers and thumbs are extending up here. So it's actually going to be in front of our heart, and it's going to go straight up overhead. So we're setting up for a little half moon balance here. So low belly in and up. So first we're going to inhale, lengthen up out of the hips, and then you pick us. Let's all go to the left. So let's side bend to the left. So the hips and weight are pressing to the right. And we want to make sure we're maintaining space through both side bodies here. Lovely. So what's going to happen is we're going to bring all of our weight to the four corners of the right foot, and we're going to try to float that left foot up. So it's just going to stay a straight side leg. So it's just straight leg out to the side, and everything's pulling into those strong obliques here. So low belly in and up. We're taking a couple breaths if it needs to tap down, and then pick back up, that's okay. So we're anchoring down through that right leg, and we're lifting up out of the pelvis, using the core to draw the upper body and the leg in towards the center. Let's see if we can pull it in an inch for this crescent moon shape, even though it's called half moon. And then we're gonna bring it back through center. Lovely. Inhale to come upright. Exhale, lift up, then over to the right. So low belly in and up to support this posture. Just take a breath or two here, getting strong here. Gradually, we shift weight to the four corners of that left foot. Right leg starts to become light as a feather as it floats open to the side body. Imagine the foot and the fingertips trying to meet, holding all of that support at your center as you press down through the four corners of that left foot. Breathing here, feel those side lungs expand, those side bodies lengthening, including that right waist. And as you exhale, move them in a little inch closer, that arm and that leg, meet in the middle of those obliques. Beautiful. Push down into the left leg as you rise through center. So we're coming back up through center here. Now hold the arms here. Low navel in and up. We're going to inhale, lift up and back, baby bend. And exhale, we're going to swan dive down all the way to full. Let it go here. Good. Inhale, we're going to halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's plant the hands, step or hop, and find that plank. We're gonna hold our plank here. So here's what's gonna happen is we're going to take the heels and we're gonna sway them to the right side. So just kind of let them drop. And you can walk that right hand an inch if you need, maybe underneath the chest, maybe do that first before the heel shift. And then you're gonna come into a half plank. So we're gonna open up that left arm, and then you can keep the feet staggered as they are, or you can stack them on top of each other. Whereas, if you need to modify a little bit, you can always bring that bottom knee down or step that top foot up, however you need to do it. So we're pushing down and away from that hand as we reach up through that left hip. And here as we inhale, we're gonna create a side bend. We're gonna reach up and over. And then we're gonna come back through neutral side plank here. And inhale up and over, side bend. Exhale, neutral plank. One more, inhale, side bend. Exhale, neutral. Then we can carefully come down through that plank, and we're actually gonna go right into that second side. We can do it, so find full plank. Maybe bring that left hand in towards you a little inch, shifting the heels to the left. Open up to that side plank here. You can stagger, stack the feet, or maybe that top foot steps down like Chaya did in the last variation. Looks like she's gonna show you the full variation here. So as you inhale, reach up and over that side bending stretch. Feel that lengthen. Exhale, come back through neutral without dropping the hips. Inhale, up and over. The hips can lift an inch. And exhale, back through center. And inhale, one more, up and over. Exhale, back through center. Now we're going to use the core, mindfully plant that palm down, bringing both wrists under the shoulders. And from here, if you really want to flow, you can, or you can lift the hips to down dog, or even a child's pose, just whatever you need here. I'm going to give us a few moments, a few breaths to work through that here. We'll all meet in downward facing. Let's slowly lower the knees, sit back into the heels. We're going to transition, first starting with the child's pose. So you can take the arms in front of you, or you can sweep them back, reach back toward those heels, just whatever you need here. We'll take a couple breaths. So this is marking the transition from the flow to the yin portion of the practice. So try just to let your body settle. We're becoming inactive through the muscles, so just try to imagine those muscles melting off the bones as you sink down into the earth here. We're now allowing the joints to hold us up, so the joints and ligaments really become strengthened in the yin practice. So by letting those joints hold us up and the muscles relax, we can come into relaxation of the connective tissue, which help to connect our muscles and our bones. Let's take one more deep breath together. Exhale for heavy sigh, empty out, let it go. Beautiful. Any way you need, we're going to release out of the child's pose. So we're going to slowly sit ourselves up from here. And for the yin portion, we're going to bring ourselves right onto our back. So any way that's comfortable, you're going to go ahead and bring yourself back here. And I'm going to switch your spots here. And we're going to do a little side bending yin posture. So we're still focusing on that theme of balance through the two halves, the masculine and feminine, sun and moon, yin and yang, whichever duality you want to think of it. It's all the same here. It all works together. So we're going to do what's called bananasana. So we're going to create a banana or a crescent moon shape here. So you have a couple options. We can just start maybe with the arms down by your side. Eventually you can reach them up overhead if we want to stimulate along that side body a little bit more, to open up the lungs a little bit more. But first let's start with the feet. So this one's kind of a funky one to get into, but we're going to start, let's open up the right side first. Or yes. We're opening up the left side, but we're walking the heels to the right. So walk the heels to the right side. Now to create more stimulation through that side hip, You can always cross the ankle like Chai is doing, so her left ankle goes over the right, or you can just keep them next to each other if that compresses the low back in an uncomfortable way. And then you're going to keep the hips and booty planted, and you're going to basically walk with the head and shoulders. So they're just going to walk and wiggle over to the same side, so you're creating this nice crescent moon shape, just like we did in the half moon bend. And then yes, then you have that option to stimulate that side body a little bit more. Arms can come up overhead, and you can try as grabbing opposite wrist. You don't have to do that. You can even grab opposite elbows if that's a more comfortable bind for you. And then we're just gonna hold this for a few minutes here. So if there's any pain or discomfort anywhere, then we can sort of fidget and wiggle out of it a little bit to take off some sensation. Or maybe we're really not feeling a whole lot of sensation. You can walk the heels and upper body in closer together. So really in yin, the only time that we're encouraged to move is again if there's any pain or discomfort, or if you're trying to go deeper into the sensation. But other than that, we're just trying to remain passive and effortless here. Again, just that sense of muscles melting off bones. Don't worry, they won't go anywhere. Maybe closing the eyes if that's comfortable. Softening face and jaw. Breathing into that left side body. The left side is known as the more feminine half. So we're opening up that ability to rest, to feel, to be receptive and intuitive. Listen to what your body's telling you here. Listen to the mind. And just let everything flow. We're not forcing anything in or out. We're just inviting it all in as a strive towards balance. We'll take some moments in silence and stillness. That way we can really tune inward. Into that left side body. Notice what is being stimulated for you. Follow those physical sensations. Notice if they invoke any specific thought or emotion. Our emotions, our memories are attached to our muscles. So the more we relax, the more we can release mentally and emotionally here. Notice what the left half is telling you. gonna walk everything back to the middle. So maybe start with the upper body or maybe with the legs, just as long as everything gets back to the middle. And to neutralize, you might have to adjust a little bit through shoulders, through hips a bit. And we're just gonna pause. Nothing crazy here, just taking a moment to let that connective tissue sort of rebound and recover back into place. You might notice some sensation as everything starts to relax here. Notice how you feel. Give the ground your weight. If you bent into the legs, you can re-extend here. We're gonna take it over to the second side. So no rush whatsoever. I'm gonna move my journal out of the way for Jaya here. You're all gonna walk over to the left side of the mat now with those heels, then with the shoulders and head. The arms can stretch up overhead here. And now we're just stimulating that right side of our energy. And by stimulating the two halves, we begin to work our way into the balance of energy, balance of the physical body, the hemispheres of the mind. And we're always going out of balance, that's okay. We usually always have one half of our energy that is a little more dominant, and that's okay. So the more we just listen within and understand the difference between the two halves, the easier it can be to come into balance. So the two halves are equal, however, they're very different. So we're just paying attention to what this new half stimulates for us. So we're noticing the difference in sensations, maybe it's in location or in the actual sensation. We're noticing the shift of mind and energy. There may not be crazy shifts, but because the two halves are very different, there will be even little subtle shifts. Close the eyes and tune inward to what you feel. What is the right half stimulating and telling you? Consider if sensation lessened and you want a little bit more, you can always walk a little bit more in. Remember, every inch those heels walk in, that's an inch the upper body comes in as well. So not only are we balancing the two right and left halves, we're also creating balance between the upper and lower half here. Get that nice IT band stretch, that stretch through the lungs, the side waist. Feel the shoulders and both glutes just weighing heavily in space here. Now we can just focus on gravity holding us up. And we can release down into it. The earth supporting us. Here we sink towards the center of it. Notice how you feel here. As you send that breath up that right lung, and down the left. And gently, you can just start to walk everything back to center here and just kind of wiggle your way back in. We're not doing anything active here. We're just lying down in any comfortable position. And we're just spending a moment to allow those connective tissues to rebound. Noticing how we've been affected by the wholeness of this posture. A little counter to neutralize our hips and our spine. We're just going to take some nice windshield wipers here. So you can take the feet to the outer edges of the mat and just start to take them side to side here. And this isn't a controlled motion. You're controlling it on the way in through center, but as you take it to the side, you just let gravity just sort of weigh those legs down heavily as if we're moving through honey here. Exhale to fall with gravity. Inhale to float through gravity. We'll just take this for a few more moments here. Just follow your breath like a little moving meditation here. We're mindful with this body-breath connection. And we're just letting everything go, kind of getting that subtle little twist below the ribs to neutralize. Just one more round each side, falling one way, floating through center and falling the other way. We can float back through center and hold. We can give ourselves a hug here. So we're gonna hug both knees in, maybe sink in stillness, or maybe you wanna give yourself a little movement here. Just taking a couple deep breaths in this nourishing hug, eliminating out anything it is that we wanna let go of here. Release it out. Eventually pausing through center, we can start to lift the head off the mat if that's comfortable. Bring forehead into the knees, curl up into a little ball, give it a squeeze. And exhale, we'll release everything, opening to Shavasana or corpse posture. And this can be any comfortable Shavasana we want. Since we didn't get to what I wanted to use the block for, I might as well invite in the blanket here. We can use it as a pillow if we want to cover up with it. You can use that blanket if you'd like. And those are just options here. Yes. And legs can be straight and splayed open. They can be bent with the knees knocking in. If you have a pillow to drape your legs over, you can use that here. Even a butterfly. Any comfortable position. We'll just close the eyes. Soften face and jaw. Not a super deep breath here, just a nice natural rhythm in and out of the nose. Just relax here for a few minutes. gradually deepening them, nothing forced. Maybe if it feels good, you start to find little movements in the body, wiggles of fingers and toes, maybe clenching and stretching of the fingers and toes. Maybe a big wake up stretch with those arms reaching overhead, pointing through those feet. We can exhale to release, hugging our knees back into our chest here. We'll just rock it side to side a little bit here. Eventually we'll feel one half just pull us over more, and just let that happen naturally. Whichever side just wants to pull you a little bit into a sideline fetal position. And heads here will rest just for a short moment. Notice which half pulled you, the right more active heated half or the left more passive cooling half. Without judgment, simply noticing that may be the half dominant for you today. You can use top palm. Slowly press ourselves to an upright seated position. We'll ground through the sits bones, grow through our spine, soften shoulders down, and notice how we feel. We can take a final breath to seal. Inhale, arms can sweep, opening up to sky. Joining hands, seal palms, heart center. Closing eyes. Thank you so much for joining us in this Flow Yin, this balance of polarities today. We really hope you enjoyed the light, the love in us, honors the light and love in each of you. Namaste, everyone.